Good afternoon or good evening. Welcome to the February 3rd, 2022 Historic Preservation Board. Like to call the meeting to order. And has everybody had a chance to look at the minutes from the January 6th meeting? Anybody have any edits? If not, can I have a motion to approve?
I'll motion.
Thank you. Steve Golding moved, and a second. I don't know if we have a second. I guess I'll second it because I think I'm the only one who was here.
I think Mike seconded it, but his microphone was muted.
Oh, okay. All in favor? Aye.
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 All opposed? Okay, minutes are passed. Introductions, there's no introductions. Public participation, do we have anybody from the public other than the applicants for the CF certificates of appropriateness?
Nope, we have just 2 of the 3 applicants zooming in tonight.
Okay. Well, then let's start. Is the first one here for 2129 5 Mile Line Road?
Yes,
Yes,
yep.
I am
William
here.
is here.
You're here? Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Would you like to start off and give us a little introduction about what you're doing?
Yes, I am very excited to be moving into Penfield. I am a longtime professor at Houghton College, and it's been my dream to start a really high-class, world-class piano studio. And after months of searching, my wife and I and our family, we really felt that this is the place, a very prime location to be able to reach students and to be able to grow my studio and to really bring, flourish arts and culture into the wonderful town of Penfield. So we're just settling in now, and we are requesting, as mentioned on my application, to be able to have a sign so that people can know about my studio and that we can grow my studio in this area.
All right.
And just a little background for everybody. This has been tabled by the town board. It was originally applied for as a customary home occupation. They're now going to be applying for a conditional use permit. So the main question that was brought up at the town board meeting was about there was an existing sign in the front lawn, but there really wasn't an answer on whether that is still there. It was kind of like a for sale sign, just like a picket sign kind of a thing. That question was brought up if that's still there. And then they just wanted to know what the Historic Preservation Board thought before making a decision as well. So just a little background for everyone before you start your discussion.
Okay. To the AV department, I'm having a hard time hearing Shannon. Is there any way that her mic can be made louder?
Sure. Yep.
Maybe it's just me.
Oh, that's okay. I want to make sure everyone can hear me.
That's better right there.
Yeah, okay. Did everyone hear what I said, or should I repeat it?
Nobody's responding, so I guess.
Everyone got the gist of what I was saying, at least?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right. You guys can go ahead.
Okay. Well, I can say that I think that the sign looks actually good. It's very suitable for this building, and conveys what's planned to be in the building. So I do not have a problem with it.
Do we know what this building was originally for?
I don't. I'm not sure if Kathy has an idea.
It was originally the home of Calvin Worcester Owen.
Okay.
It's designated as the Man Owen House. Actually, before he was in it, it was owned by Ira Mann, but it wasn't the entire home at that time. Calvin Owen finished it.
Okay. Interesting. All right. Does anybody have any questions about the sign?
What material will the sign be? It may be in the application, but
Yes. The sign is going to be a very thin aluminum. I believe it's aluminum acrylic. Is the sign company stated that would be the material utilized. So it's a very durable but a very thin sign, and not heavy.
Personally, I just really like the sign.
yeah.
Just so it just says what it is and doesn't try to make something else out of the building. Doesn't really detract from the building. If no one has any objections or any more questions, does someone want to make a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion unless Mike is trying to make a motion. You're muted, Mike.
Mike, do you want to second it?
Now it's muted. I don't know.
Okay,
We can hear you now, Mike.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. I'll second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed?
no.
I think the puppy wants to vote. Kathy. She seemed to have an interest. All right, to the applicant, you know when you're going to have this sign up?
Yes, we're currently working with the sign company, and they actually did the sign right next door at the Arts Center.
Okay.
And we probably, I'm not sure their production period, but it could be several weeks, probably within a month.
Okay. All right, well, congratulations on your new business. And
Thank you.
A lot of success.
I so appreciate that. Thank you for that.
Okay. The second case we have today is 2118 5 Mile Line Road. Is the applicant here?
They are not here, so I'll just provide a little background. They're opening a new business, and I'll bring up the photos so everyone can see. So they're just going to be using the existing framework of the sign on the building currently and putting in their own design to promote their business. So it is using the existing framework, no change in size and no change in material.
All right. Does anybody have any questions on this one?
Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. If I don't have any questions. I think the sign is appropriate.
Personally, I don't like what has been done to the building over the years.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't like that brick on the front. But I do like the simplicity of the sign. And I think it's a step in the right direction.
You haven't
You know,
seen
that building was originally brick, and the original bricks are still under the siding, but they were
I know,
beginning to crumble.
If you look in that tiny little alley in the picture, Kathy, you can actually see the old brick.
Yep.
The tiny little alley.
Yeah. Don, you haven't seen these windows when they were painted orange. We
Yeah.
had, that was, that was something.
Yeah, yeah. So, and anything to this building could be an improvement, and I'm pleased that, I'm pleased with the sign. I think they did a nice job. Does anybody have any other comments on it? Anybody want to make a motion to approve?
I move to approve.
Anybody want to second it?
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Okay, this one passes.
Great.
Let's go on, and the next one is, it's 2154 5 Mile Line Road. And is the applicant here for that one?
She is. Yes, sir. Yep.
Okay. Would you like to talk about it?
Sure.
Okay.
All right, so I did not know when we went for the permit for the pool, so the pool is already installed, that we needed it from the historical board as well. So we were told that when we went back to get approval for the deck, that we needed that as well. So I guess I'm asking for approval for both of them, the pool and the deck.
Okay.
Although the pool is already there, I do apologize for that. The deck that I would be putting on it would be, the trampoline is going to move and it's going to go back towards the trampoline, almost hidden by the garage. The garage is right there in front of the trampoline itself. The deck will be made of composite wood. It'll be 12 feet by 24 feet. It'll be light and dark gray with black railing and a gate with a lock at the bottom of the stairs.
So the picture is what's going to be there?
So the picture is
The
a
picture is the
reference.
kind, yeah.
Okay.
Well, usually we needed some kind of a drawing or a site plan or a sketch showing on the site what's happening. Do we have it here?
So
Yes, ma'am.
I do have a sketch, so to show, yeah, I think that's the best one, to show how it connects to the pool. So the deck will be for the pool itself. This doesn't exactly have how close it's going to be to the garage, though.
I guess my question was, and if we can leave this up here for a minute, I see where the pool goes and I see where the stairs are. Where does it
Yes, sir.
connect to the building on the side that says 24 feet?
The garage would be back where, let me see here, let me open, where it would be, where the stairs are.
Okay.
That would be towards the back of the garage. And there would be, oh goodness gracious. The backyard is very big. So there would be plenty of room between that.
So there'll be room between the deck and the building?
That is correct, sir, yes.
Okay, that's what I was missing. All right.
Yes, sir.
And it's so hard to look at things now with snow on the ground. So can you see this deck from the road?
It all depends on, I guess it all depends on where you stand. The contractor came by and he kind of put it out into the snow, and depending on where I was, you can see it. We do have a lot of traffic that's in front of our house, so I guess it depends on what part of the driveway you stop at for the light at 441 and 5 Mile.
Okay.
You might be able to see some of it, but it would most likely be hidden by the garage itself.
Personally, I kind of like that. You know,
That's the reason that I
what a
chose
deck
to do it
looks like,
behind
it's
there
nice.
rather than in front.
yeah. I like the fact when something like this is hidden when you're looking face on to the house. I think that's a neat move.
Well, I have younger girls, so I wanted to make sure that we did all we can. Yep.
Okay.
How tall will the deck be?
Oh, how tall? They did not tell me how tall up it would be. It is going to be flush with the pool itself, and the pool itself is 24 inches off the ground. So I'm only to assume that it would be the same, seeing since it will be built right onto the edge of the pool itself.
There is a little note on the drawing. It says 54 inches high.
Okay. I assume there will be railing around it.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, it will be around the whole entire area of the deck itself. And railing will be on the stairs as well. And then the gate with the lock will be at the bottom of the stairs rather than at the top.
How tall is the railing?
42.
I'm just trying to do the math. It looks like it would be 3 feet tall.
No, railing will be 42 inches. It has to be by code.
Okay, because they might be wrong on the map then, Mira. 'Cause it says 54 inches. And if the pool is 24 inches up.
So the pool itself is 27 foot by 54 inches high.
Oh, okay, so that's the, okay, got you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. Does anybody have any questions or comments for the applicant?
No.
Just see the picture again, Shannon?
Sure. This one?
No, the rendering.
Sure.
I don't know if it's really a rendering.
Yeah, these are just kind of examples of what the material would look like for the deck.
Does anybody have any questions about that?
I don't.
No.
Does anybody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, anybody want to second it?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Nope, motion passes. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I appreciate everyone. Thank you.
Aye.
Now we move on to informational items. The one I would love to hear about is the Verizon Telecommunications Tower at 1838 Penfield Road.
So I did send everybody the plans and the application for this. So here are the plans for it. Obviously, it's a little hard to see. It's a little small. But this is going to the planning board on February 10th for their review. So if I know that it was mentioned before that the board members may want to provide a memo to the planning board on their thoughts. As we discussed before, the Historic Preservation Board doesn't actually have any jurisdiction over this project, but we talked about how it would be in the view shed within the historic district. So if the Preservation Board wanted to write up a memo, or I will write up a memo for you guys to relay to the planning board, we can do that. But if you guys want to go ahead and discuss that a little bit further after seeing the application and the plans, go right ahead.
Why do they want to put it there?
That's a good question. I think they basically there's some sort of zoning rule that they are able to place it there based on need, or at least that's what the application states.
Ruining a good park.
And it's on fire department land?
I think it's in between the fire department land and the church's land. So I think that they are going to have to go through the seeker process because the church is a designated landmark.
And who's going to get the revenue from the rent on this?
It's a good question. I actually don't know the answer to that one.
I guess my position is the same as it was last time. I, number one, don't think this is appropriate in a historic district or a historic district view shed. I don't think they can show us an example of the same thing in Spencerport, Pittsford, Fairport, any of those towns. And I don't think there's any overriding issue to require it to be there at the Four Corners. I do not think it should be approved. And I do have some, I have a suspicion that part of the reason it is there is to generate money for the fire department, but I don't know that that's true. But if that is the reason, that's not a sufficient reason. And I think there's enough space around what I would call the village of Penfield, even though it's not a village, that they could move it out a ways and it would be fine.
There are a number of towers right on top of the fire department building already. So it seems like
Yes.
that would be another place that could be put because you already have to look at those up there.
That's true.
I'm in agreement with Don. I'm opposed to the whole thing.
I am also in agreement with Don. Also, I'm opposed to it.
Yeah, me too.
So I can include everything that we've talked about in the memo. Was there anything else specific you guys wanted me? Oh, well, first of all, I'm assuming, does everyone want me to relay a memo to the planning board as part of their review?
I do.
Okay,
Yes.
I make the motion that we ask you to do that.
great.
And
And, I think it should be specified that we're all in agreement,
Right.
yes,
Yeah.
opposed to it.
Okay, so the things I'm touching on is that overall, it's not appropriate for the area. If they could provide examples of another local historic district of something similar, because as far as we know, there isn't any, that there is enough space in the area to move it somewhere else. There are towers on top of the fire department building already. And that overall, the Historic Preservation Board members are opposed. Is there anything else I should include in the memo?
Who owns the property where, if you can visualize walking behind the church, there's a path that goes to 5 Mile Line. There's a strip of empty land there between the path and the next house up there on 5 Mile Line. If you wanted to cut through from 5 Mile Line to Penfield Road, you can cut through that school there. There's an empty lot there. Can they put it in that lot? I don't know who owns the lot. Do you know where I'm talking about?
where the sidewalk is?
Yes.
Yeah, there's plenty of property, that lot, and then all the way up to the school.
Yes.
There's
Stick it in the woods on the other side of the creek.
yeah,
There's a creek back there too, and it's wooded back there. I would think that you could tuck it back in there somewhere where it's out of everybody's vision.
yep.
Okay, anything else that anyone
And
would
again,
like?
we've seen no overriding interest,
Right,
public interest. And as Kathy pointed out, there's a lot of towers already that should be covering everyone's needs.
okay, great.
All right.
So you send the memo to the Preservation Board prior to finalizing it for
I
a
can.
review, or?
I can, if you guys would like me to do that. I can send it, I can write up a draft and send it to you guys. Or if you want me to just send it straight to the planning board, I can do it either way.
What do you think, Don?
Why don't you send it to us? I have total faith that you will get it absolutely right, but I think it strengthens the argument if somebody says, well, this was just really Shannon's feelings, that you can say this was approved by the Pres Board.
Right, approved and reviewed, yeah. And especially if there's something that I miss or something that should be worded, or if, after you guys think about it, there's something else you want to add. So I think that sounds good. I can write up a draft and get it all to you for review before the meeting. That meeting is on the 10th, so a week from today. So I'll get it to you guys early next week for review so we could pass it along.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Historic Preservation Appreciation Day.
So we talked about that last time, and I said I was going to reach out to the past speakers. So I reached out to Jerry Ludwig of the Democrat and Chronicle, and he was able to speak with me. He said that he is interested in speaking again. I also called Steve Jordan, who is the window specialist for preservation-related homes. He did not get back to me. I left him a voicemail, though. Bruce Zaretsky, who is a landscape architect, I spoke to him, and he confirmed he's interested. Someone who spoke at the last event was Cynthia Hawk. She has since retired. I can still reach out to her if you guys would like. For the time being, I left her alone. So I did reach out to another female in the Preservation Association, Katie Eggers-Camus. She works for the Preservation League of New York State. She actually has done a lot of research on James Johnson specifically, the recently designated house at 86 Mountain Road that we've been talking about. That was his home and he designed it, so he had a couple of properties in Penfield that he was the architect of. So maybe she could come and talk about him specifically, architecture surrounding him and architecture influence in Penfield. Other than that, so we have 4 people on board at the moment. That's how many we had last time. I think if it's up to you guys if you want to ask more people, if 4 is good, whatever you guys think.
Or is a good
Do a
number.
survey of, or put together a consensus of topics that would be discussed.
Yeah, we can do that. I think we had talked before that we would, the topics that were talked about last time, we would kind of stick similar to, but obviously the idea is providing information for the residents of Penfield who own historic homes. So that's obviously pretty generic. So anything specific that anyone would want the speakers to talk about, we can definitely mention that.
Okay.
Okay. Does anybody else have anything to add to that?
Close Friday.
And then Shannon, where did you think you wanted to have it, at the town hall again?
So we had mentioned after the meeting, just very briefly, someone mentioned having it at the former Daisy Flour Mill.
Right.
Because we're going to have a new property going in, a new business going in there. We'll have to see the timeline on that because the timeline we're shooting for is October. I'm not sure if they'll be up and running by then, but obviously something like that would be awesome. If we can't make that work, then of course the town hall would be a nice backup.
Okay. Anybody else have any ideas, or sounds like it's pretty good?
Yeah, coming together. I think we're following the same guidelines, same draft as the last one to reduce the workload for everybody.
Okay. Going on to held items, has there been any movement at all on the Daisy Flour Mill?
Yes, so let me pull that up so I can see. So the town board did approve it. So they are the next step is they're setting a public hearing for a special permit to allow the business in that property. And that is the public hearing is going to be held on February 16th, which is a little less than 2 weeks.
And I'm sorry, it must have been said last time. They need a public hearing because of the nature of the business?
I think just to allow anyone in the neighboring area to voice any concerns, opinions, anything like that.
Okay.
Just because
Yep.
it is going to be a change of business, change of ownership, and they are going to, obviously, as we talked about, make some changes to the building itself. So it's just open
Yep.
to the public to voice any concerns.
Okay. One that isn't on here, any update at all on Shadow Pines on the Clark House?
No, nothing yet. I haven't heard anything. Eric Tate was out of the office for a couple weeks in between us meeting, so I haven't heard anything from him. I asked him when there's movement to let me know, but as of right now, I know everything's in limbo a little bit. The town board is taking another look at the report from Bergman, the engineers who did the survey and the analysis of the building. So they have a new board member or 2, so they're re-reviewing it.
Okay. Does anybody have any new business?
No.
We don't have a need for an executive session. We do have an upcoming.
I have something. It's not really new business, but
All
you
right.
know the oath of office forms that you generally sign every year? They've changed it so only when you're reappointed. So this time it's only Don and Tom that have forms, and I have them right here with me. because I was going to bring him to the meeting tonight. If you could just send me an email with your address, Tom or Don, I'll mail it to you, and then I'll mail Tom's out to him as well.
Okay.
And then you just have to get them notarized. There are notaries at Town Hall. You probably work with notaries. So,
Yeah.
and then just send them back to Amy Steckloff, the town clerk.
Okay.
And the rest of you are off the hook until your term is up.
Shannon, will you also update Tom on that?
Yep, yeah, I'll send him an email and let him know that that is due for him as well.
All right. Our next meeting is March 3rd. Pending no snowstorms or no COVID uptick, maybe we'll be in person again, or at least a hybrid.
I won't be there.
Okay.
Okay.
Anybody else that won't be there?
When is next meeting?
March 3rd.
I'll be there.
So if Tom's there, we have a quorum. Oh, Shannon, two people, I had sent Kim Bodeger's resume to Jim, and Chuck Fox had contacted me, and he sent a resume to Marie. He wants to be on the Pres board. I don't remember how many spots we have open, but we do have two candidates.
Great, yeah.
You do have two spots? Okay.
Yeah, I think I did see that they did, there was a posting asking for people who were interested. So I haven't heard any updates specifically, but I assume that they are reviewing those resumes and starting the process to do interviews to get
I
someone.
haven't heard from anyone else, so.
Okay, great. Well, that's great to know that there are people applying, because obviously we could use a couple more people. So that's great. And I'll obviously keep you guys updated as I hear anything, but so far nothing has been relayed to me.
Excellent. Okay, does anybody else have anything else, or can we adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
A second.
Okay. Then we're out of here, unless
Good
anybody
job.
opposed. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Shannon, for putting this together so quickly.
Of course. Thank you, guys. Thank you for the last minute stuff.
Thank you, Sharon.
Okay. See you all later.
All righty.
Bye.
Arrivederci.